burning, tingling sensations and feeling like my skin is on fire. Only I feel notice when I'm, not walking right or dropping things or in the middle of a sentence and don't remember what I was about to say, or dealing with this crazy noise in my ear or up with anxiety at night. Only I experienced that. And the only thing I could do is tell people about it. But it's hard because if they can't physically see it, they don't really, really, truly understand how it impacts you. Because there's a lot of nights where I can't even sleep because I'm going through
Wow.
so many different changes in my body or experiencing just crazy things going on. I don't know if people understand that what exactly multiple sclerosis is. It's where, so if you think about it in terms of wiring, let's think about like a car, for hypothetically. If you
Mm.
think of terms of wiring that goes throughout and speaks to the motherboard, that tells the car what to do. Whenever something needs to be done, these signals communicate with each other. So within your body, we have nerves all throughout our body. That's the wiring that I'm referring to. And what MS is, it attacks you. That's why it's called an autoimmune disease, where
Right.
it rips the myelin sheath, which is the protective barrier over your nerves. It tears that off, so you have like a lot of exposed nerves. So you have all this misfiring going on all day. So your that nervous system, I don't know if people are familiar with it. It controls a lot of things from your motor skills to your vision to your speech to just a number of things. We have nerve endings throughout our whole body. So if you're
Right.
getting this constant misfiring all day, you can experience anything at any time. And it's just like, you
Dang.
know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
way of saying, well, this is what you can expect or this is what should happen. It's like literally everybody with MS experiences it in a different way. Some people have it and don't have symptoms for years. Some people
Okay.
have it and never have symptoms. Some people have it and it progressed so fast that they end up in a walker or they can't walk or,
Right.
it could be a number of different scenarios. So it's just difficult. You never would know it unless you dealt with something similar to it or it itself.
Wow. So
Yeah.
throughout your day of you being a business owner and having your shoe company, what is the most difficult thing that you go through as far as just doing shipments and keeping up with everything as far as you running your company?
Well, I think dealing with what I'm dealing with my health. And then I do still work full time. That's another thing that I don't talk about a lot and I never bring it up because you have people that kind of say, well, it can't be doing that. Your business can't be doing that good if you're still working or whatever the case may
Girl,
be.
they lying. They lying.
But hey, because you can be an entrepreneur and you could one day make, you know, $5,000 in a day, and the next day you can make nothing. One month you can go a whole month and have like all these sales going on, and the next month you might not get anything.
Right.
So if you're not in a place where most of the times you don't reach that point in your business until 5 years and beyond where you're able to not have to work period and solely get an income from just your business. But before we all get to that point, we still have bills to pay,
Yeah,
we
you
still
do.
got stuff we got to take care of.
Some people don't realize a miracle isn't going to happen overnight with your business. Sometimes you may
Right.
be blessed with that, but you may still have to work your full-time job to keep it going
Hmm.
because we got slow months, we got good months
Hmm.
and everything. It's just you have to do what you have to do for you. And sometimes
Right.
people they want to place your pace with theirs. You have to do what
Right.
works for you and your schedule as far as what you got to do, not what worked for them because that worked for them,
Right.
you know?
Hmm.
So you have to still do what you got to do. When I first started my businesses and everything, I was still working.
Yeah.
You
A
still
lot
have
of us
bills to
are.
pay. Yeah, and then sometimes the money you make from your job, you got to put it into your business cuz your business may not be bringing in as much money as you really expected. You
Right.
know,
That's so
it's just you
true.
gotta
Yep.
crawl before you walk. But
Yeah, that's
and
so
then
true.
sometimes even
And
when you
I don't
walking,
even yep, that's true. I don't think that people even give entrepreneurs, especially those of color, or just anybody who comes from a background where they're not as fortunate to be given an inheritance or have access to funding, where they do literally have to get it out the mud, what they call,
yes,
you know, how they say it. And that's so true because not only, and it's kind of like a catch-22 because when you're getting it out the mud, you have to push this thing and your face is on everything. And then it's hard, especially I'll speak for myself, when you have a lifestyle brand that's associated with all these premium ideas. And then it's like you're doing things that people don't necessarily relate premium and luxury to. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Like working.
yes.
And it's like it's hard because you're trying to build a brand, yet you have that uphill battle of trying to um, establish yourself in a market and have this perceived ideal about your brand, yet people are able to see you building it from the ground up. So it's kind of hard to get there because you have those people that, whether people want to admit it or not, and I'm sorry if I sound like I'm jumping.
Oh,
I
you
always
good,
have
you good.
so many thoughts in my head. I just try to come back to them all. But when you are a person who you do have the ability to have access to funding, you may have inheritance, you may come from a background where you can put out this business with the exact type of image that you want it to have and never have to show your face or even mention yourself doing it at all because everything is automatic from day one. You know
Yes.
what I mean? You have the funding to put everything in place where it doesn't even have to be attached to you at all. But if you're the person doing the customer service, the fulfillment, the emails, you're speaking, you're doing the interviews, you're the person doing the designing, you're doing and literally everything. There's no disassociation. So oftentimes people group your persona with your business. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it kind of works for me because the brand is named after me. However, it's a catch-22 because it's a premium lifestyle brand, and not always I'm seen in a premium light, if you know what I mean. So it's like that's kind of one of the biggest obstacles. Just going back to what you asked me earlier of what is the hardest thing is that's one of them. Like juggling
Yeah.
that my personal life with a brand that is so a part of me. You know what I mean? And not
Mhm.
being where I want to be at that matches the perception that I want to have, that I want people to have of my brand.
Wow. So, and what are your goals for 5 years for your brand?
So actually, I am working with a Italian company. They're the company that does that handcrafts our sneakers. So I work hand in hand with them to do the design. They have an apprenticeship program where you actually, if you meet a certain number of sales quota within a 5 year time frame, you actually would be able to go. They will pay for the expenses to bring you to Italy to work hands on a capsule collection, and then they will work with you in the branding and pitching your brand to major department stores. So
Wow.
that's one of my biggest goals, to get the brand to that point. I'm very close. So everything happens at a
Okay.
perfect time. You know what I mean? I think when it gets to that point, I think everything is going to be automated and is going to be the way I want it to be. But you know what? Even with that being an obstacle that I said it was, I still love it because I think there's nothing better than a genuine story where people can see you from really from started from the bottom, now we
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Like I really feel like this is that story, and I think people can relate to that, and I think it inspires people, and people love and are drawn to things that inspire them. So even though it's something I don't like, even that is a testimony and can work for my good. You know what I mean?
Right. But the thing is,
Yeah.
the greatest thing of it all is the fact that you did it. You worked so hard. You put the work in. You didn't have an
Yeah.
inheritance or nothing. It
Right.
creates
That's
you
so
to
true.
appreciate your work more, and you just appreciate